Welcome to Student Connections, where our students connect with their community.
Hello, I'm Caleb Gordon, and welcome to Student Connections on M6, your hometown station. Our M6 students have been interviewing a variety of people from organizations around our community. Today we'll learn more about the American Red Cross, the Fraternal Order of Police, Mr. McGugan from O'Connor Realty, and our local Masons. First, Haley Booms interviews Debbie Wolf about the American Red Cross.
Welcome to Student Connections on M6. I'm Haley Booms, here with Debbie Wolf from the American Red Cross. Thanks for coming today.
Thanks, Haley.
So, how long have you been working for the Red Cross?
I've been working with the Red Cross for a number of years now. I started out volunteering back in the late 90s, and I enjoyed that so much that today I'm a paid employee with our Southeastern Michigan Blood Service region.
Wow, okay. What is the purpose of the start of the Red Cross?
The purpose was to bring relief to citizens in times of disaster, and that evolved over the years in times of not only disaster, also military relief and help in those areas to our armed forces, and it's a humanitarian organization.
Okay, that's a great cause. Who founded the Red Cross?
Our visionary leader, Clara Barton.
Okay.
Back in 1881, it was founded here in the United States of America. She had seen the program while she was traveling overseas. She had spent some time serving soldiers on the battlefield of the Civil War and took some rest after that. Some friends introduced her to the Red Cross, and it changed the course of history when she came back and founded it here in 1881.
Yeah, definitely. What does the Red Cross do other than blood drives?
We're very well known for our blood drives, and we're also well known for our disaster services. Whether it's a house fire here or a wildfire across the nation, our disaster services is a very important branch of our mission. We also serve the armed forces, and that's mainly communication. For example, I had a sister-in-law who died in a car accident. I had another brother on a military base in Afghanistan. The Red Cross made the connections between Afghanistan and the local arrangements here to get him home in time.
Wow.
So that communication is part of what we do with the armed forces. Of course, our health and safety programs. We teach emergency preparedness with CPR and first aid, automated external defibrillators, pet first aid, babysitting, and water safety, a whole host of classes, all revolving around preparedness.
So, where do blood drives normally take place?
All over the community.
Okay.
Here at Marysville High School, other high schools, elementary schools, churches, businesses, and we have a donor center that's open 3 days a week in Port Huron.
Wow. Okay. How do you set up a blood drive?
It's relatively easy to do. If you have a building and some blood donors, that's the most important part.
Okay.
And not everybody has a building or blood donors, so we recently introduced a new program. It's our mini blood drive program. So if you're a small organization, maybe you don't have a building, maybe you only have 5 or 10 employees, you can hold a mini blood drive right in our donor center in Port Huron.
Wow, that's awesome. Very helpful. So what are the common problems that people run into when trying to give a blood drive?
Some people can't give blood. Some people are deferred for some reason or another. If you come in with a cold or a flu, you can't give blood that day. Some women might have low iron, if your blood pressure is not controlled on the day you donate. But generally, if you're in good health, if you're 17 years old or 16 with a parent's permission, it's worth to come in and try to donate.
Yeah, definitely. What are your emergency relief programs?
Our emergency relief programs are varied, but after a disaster, we focus primarily on shelter, food, and relief supplies.
Okay. Do you have certain partners that help you with these programs?
We partner really with the whole United States of America. We are not a government organization. There's some confusion because we work so closely with the government, but we rely on the people, the businesses, the organizations that have so generously funded the disaster operations. The American people truly are our partners.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for sharing that with us. The American Red Cross is so much.
Thanks, Haley.
Be sure to join us for more Student Connections after this.
I know I'm going to give blood next time when they come to Marysville High School. I hope you'll consider doing it also. Now let's go over to Wayne Height and Mr. Ed Giroux with the Fraternal Order of Police.
Hello and welcome to M6, your hometown station. I'm Wayne Height, and joining me today is Ed Giroux of the Fraternal Order of Police. How are you doing, Ed?
Nice to meet you.
I'm doing pretty good. Now, what exactly is the Fraternal Order of Police? Because honestly, I do not know what it is.
Well, it's a group of police officers, both police and civilians
Okay.
that get together on a monthly basis
All right.
to promote the police, law enforcement community to citizens of the area.
All right.
We offer hall rentals and those type of things that raise funds that we put back into the community.
Awesome. Now, who are the members of the group?
Well, law enforcement throughout the St. Clair County area. However, Fraternal Order of Police is a nationally recognized organization.
Oh, okay.
So there are several Fraternal Order of Police throughout the state of Michigan and throughout the United States. But within our county, any law enforcement official, such as a prosecutor, someone that might work in the jail, a law enforcement officer, and civilians who are friends of police officers that promote what we stand for, and that's to uphold the Constitution and protect people's lives and property.
All right. Now, what services does the group provide?
Well, there's a couple ways where we raise funds throughout the year. One of which is our hall that we have,
Okay.
which is located in Kimball Township, and we offer that to the general public and to our members to rent throughout the year. Those rentals, the fees that we collect from the rentals actually go to support the building and to assist us in supporting different charitable things throughout the year with the community. The other main fundraiser that we do is a phone solicitation for our local FOP, which involves the selling of tickets to a 50/60s spectacular, which actually this
Okay.
month is occurring.
And is anyone eligible to join into this group?
Yes, you're eligible as long as you're within good standings within law enforcement.
Okay.
Obviously, we're not looking for people that have been arrested numerous times and
Right.
don't want to be on the right side of the law. So, but if,
Okay,
if you're an upstanding citizen, yes, anybody can
Yep.
join our organization. Dues are $55 for non-sworn personnel. That would be non-law enforcement.
Okay.
And then law enforcement is a little higher. It's $65 a year.
Oh, okay. Now, what do you guys do for the community?
Well, for the community, there's a lot of different things we're involved in. We support the Roof Sit child abuse awareness.
Okay.
We also do our annual Shop with a Hero, Shop with a Cop, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
at Myers.
Okay.
And that is one of our main community involvement things that we do that gets a lot of publicity. Over the years, we have assisted over 100 kids usually every year in getting Christmas gifts to them. And a lot of times it's underprivileged children that just would not have a good Christmas. And so
okay.
we supply that with them. And we partner with Myers themselves. They actually assist us with that
Okay.
in raising funds, and so does the St. Clair County Prosecutor's Office. They're really involved in that program and assist us in doing so.
All right. Now, do you guys accept any donations?
Yep, donations can be accepted and sent to our fraternal order. However, most of our donations are solicited in some form or fashion, either through a sale of a ticket. We try to give somebody something for their donation.
All right.
Our last fundraiser that we had at our FOP hall was a comedian night, and we had over 130 people out there, and we had a comedian come in, and the funds that were raised will go back into the community to assist us in sponsoring such things such as Little League teams or
okay.
or a minor
Yeah.
hockey league team of some type.
All right, cool. Now, what events do you do personally?
I'm involved in quite a few of them. The next upcoming event that we are involved in, or that we're going to have, is called our annual Stakeout.
Oh, okay.
And Stakeout has a couple meanings. In law enforcement, usually people understand what a stakeout is, but
Yep.
we use it in a term because what we do is we supply people with a steak to cook.
Oh, okay.
They're actually able to cook it to their liking. And then after dinner is all done, then we have dinner and dancing, and it's a fun event for couples to come to.
It does sound like a fun event. I mean,
Exactly.
steak and then dancing.
Exactly.
What could be any better? Now, do you do anything special for the members?
Well, our members, as far as special for our members, we do honor law enforcement officers. That's kind of our mainstay.
Okay.
We do have things that we put together for honoring officers that go above and beyond the call of duty, those
Okay.
type of things.
All right. Now, are there any goals for the group?
Well, at this point, I'm being the president. I've been the president now for about 6 months. One of my main goals is to get back to a family organization. Okay. And what I mean by that is, I think that our society has become so fast-paced that sometimes you lose sight of what family's about, and so I've made that my goal to try and get more of a family-oriented organization out there where kids are coming out with their parents and enjoying the hall. I'm trying to put together, I've had Santa Day where Santa's come out, and we've had families out for that, and the Easter Bunny, and now we're looking into a summer event where we have a lock-in for kids to come watch several movies, and then they'll enjoy breakfast in the morning. So I'm trying to get more of a family organization or family organized events going out there. So.
That's a pretty good idea. Now, when did this whole group get started?
Well, the FOP in itself has been around since 1950. And our organization, our hall itself, I believe was started back in the early 40s. Our hall is named after William E. Lewis, which was a police chief in Capac who was killed in the line of duty. And to honor him, we named our hall after him. So our hall has been in existence, I think, since the 40s.
Wow, that's a pretty long time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Now, what is your mission statement?
Well, the mission statement as a whole for the nation is, it's very lengthy, but the synopsis of it is that we support the Constitution. We're an organization that assists law enforcement in fair labor standards, assist in lobbying for bills that assist law enforcement in doing their job and doing it efficiently. And the organization itself, promotes that law enforcement be embraced by its community.
All right. Now, what is this torch run? I have never heard about that. What is it?
Well, the law enforcement torch run is not so much a fraternal order of police organizational thing, but we do support that as one of our events that we support. And what it entails is the raising of funds through, let's say, like a Susan Carmano's 3-day walk. Instead, you run, and as a result of your running, you've raised money to support Special Olympics. And of course, as anybody knows, Special Olympics is a very good organization. It assists the handicapped children of our area and surrounding areas in obtaining dreams of becoming athletes and so on and so forth. So it's a very, very good organization for law enforcement to be involved in, and we've kind of spearheaded that as a law enforcement in whole, not just the Fraternal Order of Police, though.
Okay. Now, do you have any memorials for the group members?
Well, there is a memorial that comes to mind that is very special to me. I'm a police officer in the city of Marysville. And several years ago, we lost one of our officers to cancer, and that was Jack Murray. And Officer Murray's memorial is a memorial that's set forth by our hall, where we represent or we recognize officers that have gone above and beyond the call of duty. Let's say maybe an officer's run into a burning home and saved a family before firefighters get there, which can be very dangerous for us to do without breathing apparatuses and such. So those type of things are recognized by our hall, and in honor of Jack, we honor that officer during that month as a memorial to him.
Okay, that's very nice, very touching. Now, what is the Take 25 campaign?
Take 25. Now, in going over our interview here, I didn't really have any idea what the Take 25 program was, and I'll be very honest with you. But after reviewing it and looking into it, I think it's something that our hall is going to be very active in. It's geared around missing and exploited children. Back in 1983, Ronald Reagan, our president at that time, had started a campaign for missing and exploited children. And it's grown and adapted into a very organized system of putting out the information of children that are missing or have been missing, any type of predator that is out there that could harm our children. And Take 25 has evolved as a result of that program. And what that is parents, promoting parents to take 25 minutes out of their day to talk with their children and make them aware of the fact that they can become victims as young as, very little.
All right.
In the fact of being abducted or being a victim of sexual abuse or anything of that nature. So it's a very, very good campaign, and after looking into it, I think we're going to try to do something to become involved in that.
Okay, so why is it exactly important to you? Just because it's going to keep having like the family being all together?
Well, the family being together, obviously, if
Yep.
you're abducted,
Okay.
that's not good for your family
Yeah,
structure.
no.
But in a sense, what the FOP in itself has done is it's taken it upon itself to be involved with children in a whole.
Okay.
And they are our future.
Yep.
And so we know this, and we try to do everything within our power to try to assist them in growing to become good, productive people within our community. Obviously, we'd like to see them be involved in law enforcement in some form or fashion, and to keep our fraternity alive by promoting the youth in our community to be safe and to enjoy themselves in being youth,
Okay.
and then move on to be productive people within our community.
Well, it sounds like your group is doing a lot of great things. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank
It
you.
was very nice. I learned a lot of new things. Now, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more after this.
The FOP is a great way to support those who serve and keep us safe. Speaking of staying safe and having a nice roof over my head, Carly Bouveret talks to Jim McGugan from O'Connor Realty.
Hello and welcome to Student Connections. I'm your host, Carly Bouveret, and with me today is Mr. Jim McGugan. Hi, how are you?
Hey, hi Carly, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Very good, no problem. When was O'Connor Realty founded?
O'Connor Realty was founded in 1971 by Francis O'Connor, and he held the company for a number of years until it was purchased by Ron Cooley, who also owned the company for a number of years, and now it is owned by Joe Schulte, who is our owner and broker.
And where's your office located?
We're located at 2801 Gratiot Boulevard, which is right at the intersection of Huron Avenue and Gratiot in Marysville.
Is there any other locations, or is that the only one?
That is the only one right now that is owned by Joe Schulte. There is another O'Connor Realty facility that's in the city of Detroit that is actually owned by one of Ron Cooley's sons, but we really don't have an affiliation with them. They have their own market versus what we do here.
All right. And how is the house market doing in St. Clair County as of right now?
Well, we're seeing a little bit of an uptick, and that's positive news for the real estate industry because for so long market decline was going on, and right now we're seeing a stabilization of prices and we're seeing a reduction in the amount of home foreclosures, and those are both real positive signs, and we hope that we can sustain that and then build on it from here.
Yeah, hopefully we can do that.
Absolutely.
And what are the normal days people hold an open house?
Open houses for the majority of realtors is done on Sunday, and oftentimes we'll begin the open houses about noon and wrap them up around 4 o'clock. And during those 4 hours, we really typically do 2 open houses. Each one will last about an hour and a half, and then in between it gives us a half hour to get to the second one.
All right, and what are some factors that can affect the pricing of a house?
That's a very good question. There are numerous factors that can affect home pricing. One of them, of course, is just the current market. What is the market doing? Because all home prices are based on pretty much past sales. And the location of a home is also extremely important in home pricing, and the community itself and what the community has to offer is also important. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. There's a lot of other things, but those are the primaries, I believe.
All right, and how many of these homes are for sale due to foreclosure? Because I know there's been a lot of foreclosures lately.
There has been a lot of foreclosures, but if what we're reading and learning right now from other sources is that the foreclosure market is beginning to back off. And that's incredibly important for us in the real estate industry and for the people who want to come in, buyers and sellers alike, because when the inventory of foreclosures begins to reduce, that definitely will help home prices start to come up.
And what area in Marysville is the most common place for buyers right now?
Oh gosh, the entire community of Marysville. People absolutely love to come here. They love to stay here. They love to raise their family here. And I don't think there's one pocket versus another that really is any better in Marysville. People just generally like it here.
So does that go along with some of the aspects that's why people want to live here?
Oh yes, there's a number of reasons people like to come to Marysville. One of those reasons, I'm sitting in the building right now here at the Marysville High School. The high school has been a tremendous draw for us in terms of getting people to purchase here, to have their children educated in what is viewed throughout the state as an outstanding school district. It's also important to people when they know that they have local police and fire protection. And of course we have a DPW here. We basically have a community that encompasses many of the services that people enjoy being around as they're raising their families.
All right. And when remodeling a home, what should they take into consideration?
Carly, right now a person has to be very careful how much money he or she puts into a home because of values have been on the decline. They're stable now, but if you want to get the most out of your home when you remodel, typically kitchens and bathrooms are where you'll recover most of the money. But you want to also talk to your realtor before you do that to get a little bit of advice on if you put the money into the home, is it going to give you a payback when you sell?
That makes a lot of sense. And you seem really knowledgeable, so how long have you been working for O'Connor Realty?
Well, I'm glad I'm fooling you here today. Now, actually, I've been with O'Connor Realty for 12 years, and prior to that, I had a 24-year career in marketing and communications with Atchison Industries in Port Huron.
All right, and which areas do you work in the most?
Right now, I would speak for myself and other realtors. It's pretty general. We're in a lot of different areas now because of all the changing government regulations, the changes in the mortgage industry, housing is changing. We're seeing people in all areas that need our assistance, and I really would be stating something I think that would well serve the people watching today. When you're purchasing or selling a home right now, it's never been more important than to align yourself with an educated, experienced realtor and an educated, experienced lender, because there have been so many changes. You have to be aligned with someone who is, like you said, quite knowledgeable.
And I'm sure a lot of people are going to be wondering how they're going to get in contact with you. What's the easiest way to do that?
Well, that's a nice wonder for people to have, actually, but a couple easy ways to reach me is on my cell phone or my email, and if you'd like, I can give you that contact information. Right. Cell phone is 810-434-2991, and email is jim@o'connorrealty.com, and O'Connor is O-C-O-N-N-O-R.
All right, and do you have any tips for those trying to sell their homes right now?
Yes, probably the best tip for someone trying to sell their home is to contact a realtor, have the realtor conduct what's called a market analysis, and basically that is when the realtor assembles information of past sales and homes presently on the market, and the realtor comes into your home and looks at the condition and just basically checks everything out throughout the entire home, and then comes up with a price recommendation. And one of the reasons it's so important to price your home right now is that banks are being still quite conservative before giving loans. And when someone goes to the bank for a loan, the bank then sends out an appraiser to check the value of the home. And that home has got to appraise for the amount that it's being sold for, or the bank won't make the loan because of so many foreclosures the banks have had to suffer over the years.
All right, and are there any recommendations to help those who are looking to buy a new home?
Yes, a few recommendations would be, I mentioned two of them: find a good realtor, and then also get yourself aligned with a good, experienced lender. And I certainly can help people with finding a lender if they so choose. And the other thing is, many people don't realize this, but keep your credit healthy, keep your credit good, because every lender will do a credit check from the 3 major credit reporting agencies, and you have to have things paid on time, and that's just so important. It can sneak up on people. All of a sudden they'll realize their credit isn't strong enough to purchase a home, and that's never a good situation, so pay your bills.
All right, that's good advice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you, Carly. It was my pleasure.
Thank
nice
you.
being here. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Join us next time on M6, your hometown station.
I think we all hope the tough economic climate is improving, and it is great to see more people moving into our community. Now to another group that serves our residents, the Masons. Carly Bouveret is now with Mr. Bill Herlihy from the Marysville Masons.
Hi, and welcome to Student Connections. I'm your host, Carly Bouveret, and today I have with me is Mr. Herlihy. Hi, how are you?
Hi, nice to see you, Carly.
Nice to see you too. Can you exactly tell us what the Mason Society is?
Masons are a fraternal organization of men who are kind of joined together with some common bonds. Our basic principles are brotherly love, relief, which we define as philanthropy, and truth. And we strive to help each other, as the saying goes, make good men better. We try to live up to the teachings of Masonry, and in hopes that we'll become better men in the community, better husbands, better fathers, things along those lines.
All right, and how did the society get started exactly?
Well, nobody really knows. Many historians tend to agree that Freemasonry evolved from the guilds of stonemasons who were active during the Middle Ages, building cathedrals and castles and things along those lines. Over the centuries, the operative Masons, or the working stonemasons, tended to decline, and Masonic lodges took in people who were not from the building trades, but who enjoyed meeting together and discussing different ideas and philosophical things. And it evolved to the lodge system that we have today. And that's the predominant thinking. There is another theory that Masonic lodges were the remnants of the Knights Templar. The Knights Templar was a religious order, actually, during the Middle Ages. They were warriors. They were originally developed to protect pilgrims traveling from Europe to the Holy Land. They, through a series of political things, primarily through the King of France and the Pope, who were kind of connected at that time, the order was suppressed, and the Knights Templar, many were arrested in France. A lot of them fled to England, and it's said that these fugitive Knights Templar developed into the Masonic lodges of today. It's not a theory that's accepted by all historians, but it's one theory anyway.
And you seem to know a lot about it. How long exactly have you been a member for?
I've been a member over 30 years now.
And why did you decide to join it?
A friend of mine, over 30 years ago, talked to me about it. He explained a little bit to me about what Masonry was all about, and it sounded like an organization that I wanted to belong to. And I joined, and I have no regrets at all about becoming a member.
And did it cost anything to become a member?
Yeah, it costs, in our particular lodge in Marysville, it costs $130. Different lodges have different fees, of course. And there is also annual dues that you have to pay to the organization. So it takes a little bit of money, not much.
And how can others in the community become a member?
All you have to do is ask a Mason. And we're glad to share the information that we have about the fraternity and offer, we have some literature and things like that we can give a prospective member. So we're always eager to talk about Masonry.
And what is the society doing for the community?
We do a number of things here in Marysville. We have a monthly breakfast the first Sunday of every month. We generally serve between 200 and 250 people. It's an all-you-can-eat egg pancake breakfast. We support, for example, scholarships here for graduating seniors. We have recently done a little bit with the SOS food pantry here in Marysville. And we do a child identification program every year, which we provide what we call a kit to the parents It is a DNA sample and a bite plate and a video presentation, so that if a child were ever abducted or lost, the parents would immediately have information that they could give to the authorities to help locate the child. So those are some of the things that we do in the community.
That's really good. And are there any upcoming activities that you guys have planned?
Well, our breakfast, as I mentioned, the first Sunday of every month, and the Child ID program, we will be doing that during Marysville Days this June. I'm not exactly sure of the date, but we do that in conjunction with the Lions Club. They offer their facilities at the park, and we make use of that.
All right, and what other organizations do the Society work with?
Well, as I mentioned, we work with the Lions here. They've been very generous in offering their facilities at Marysville Park to let us put on the Child ID program. There are some other organizations within Masonry that we tend to work closely with. The one that's most well known is the Shriners. All Shriners are Masons first, and the Shriners have 22 hospitals for children, 3 burn centers, and the rest are orthopedic hospitals. And care is given to children from birth up until age 18, absolutely free of charge.
All right, and do you guys have any goals that you want to achieve?
Well, as I said earlier, the men that belong to Masonry tend to have some common bonds and goals along the lines of brotherly love, relief. As I said, we define that as philanthropy. Different branches of Masonry and different lodges in different areas provide different philanthropic activities. As I mentioned, our scholarships and that type of thing. Some lodges in other areas do other things. But you know, our goal is to give back to society at large things that we've received in hopes of giving everybody, doing something for everybody, whatever we can to help our fellow men.
All right, and I'm assuming that you guys do have meetings, and if so, where are they held and when?
Marysville Lodge meets on the first Thursday of every month. That's our business meeting. And we pay our bills and read the minutes and do all those mundane sorts of things.
Right.
We have our degree work on intervening Thursdays. Our lodge is on the corner of 16th and Michigan, just south of the old high school here, a couple of blocks.
All right, and how many members would you say are in the society from Marysville?
In Marysville, we have about 130, 135 members, give or take a little bit. In Michigan, there are about 80,000 Masons. As I say, in Marysville, 135 or thereabouts.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us today.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. And that's all for today. Join us again on M6, your hometown station.
I hope you enjoyed meeting our guests today. Be sure to join us next time on M6, your hometown station.